What if I told you that one of the most beloved soldiers of World War II was not a man, it was a bear? In the middle of World War II, a Polish army unit adopted a bear. Not as a mascot, not as a joke. This bear marched with them, slept in their tents, drank beer, and during battle it carried live ammunition to the front lines. He was even officially enlisted into the Polish army, and his name was Wojtek. This is one of the wildest and true war stories that you're ever going to hear. We are going to dive into his full story this episode, so let's get into it. In 1942, the world was at war. A group of Polish soldiers were making their way through the Middle East after surviving Soviet gulags. They were part of what's known as Anders' army, and they have seen more misery than most of us can imagine. And while passing through Hamadan in Iran, they spotted a local boy holding a tiny bear cub. The mother had reportedly been shot by local hunters, and the cub was all alone. And for some reason, the soldiers instantly fell in love with this bear cub. The soldiers didn't hesitate. They traded a few cans of meat, some chocolate, and some coins, so they bought the bear right then and there. They named the bear Wojtek, which loosely means joyful warrior, and that is exactly what he became. It was the beginning of one of the strangest brotherhoods in military history. Wojtek was a Syrian brown bear, a subspecies of the brown bear, found in parts of the Middle East including Iran, Turkey, and Syria. They're smaller than most brown bear subspecies, including the grizzly. They have sandy colored fur and a lighter build, and today they are very endangered, with only small scattered populations left in the wild. So yeah, Wojtek isn't just a rare story, he is a rare bear. As Wojtek grew up, he didn't just hang around camp like a mascot, he became one of the boys. As the unit traveled through the Middle East, Wojtek was right there with them the whole time, riding in trucks, sleeping in tents, getting into trouble just like any new recruit would. He learned to march on his hind legs, salute with his paw, and wrestle with the other guys just for fun. And the other soldiers, they absolutely loved him. They shared their food with him, rewarding him with beer, which became his favorite beverage. They even gave him cigarettes to smoke. There was a lot less smoking and a lot more eating the cigarettes. He would just pop them in his mouth and swallow them. He would even sleep with the other soldiers if they got cold at night. By the time he was fully grown, he weighed around 200 pounds. But more than anything, Wojtek lifted the morale of the soldiers. These were men who had lost everything, and somehow a goofy bear with a drinking problem made him feel better. Then in 1944, they were preparing to ship out to Italy to take the fight to the Germans. But there was a problem. Wojtek wasn't allowed on military transport. The rules were clear. No pets, no mascots, no animals. So the soldiers came up with the best solution possible. They decided to enlist him. Wojtek was now officially added as a private in the military. He joined the 22nd Artillery Supply Company. He now has a rank and a serial number. And that is how a bear boarded a ship to Italy as an official member of the Polish army. And that takes us to a famous battle. The Battle of Monte, Cassino. It was one of the toughest battles in World War II. An uphill battle through German defenses in the mountains of central Italy. And Wojtek did not sit this one out. As artillery crews hauled crates of shells to the front lines, Wojtek watched them and then started copying them. He stood upright, grabbed the crates in his massive paws, and carried them just like the men, never dropping a single shell. Other Allied troops were stunned by this. This story started circulating, and Wojtek became a legend. The 22nd Company honored him and changed their emblem to a bear carrying an artillery shell. The same thing he was actually doing. Now, when the war ended in 1945, Wojtek and the rest of the 22nd Company were relocated to Winfield Camp in Scotland. And just like before, Wojtek fit right in. He became a local celebrity. He would walk into the pubs with soldiers, drink beer with the boys, and even play with the neighborhood kids like some furry uncle. Then in 1947, when the unit disbanded, Wojtek had nowhere to go, so they found him a new home at the Edinburgh Zoo. But even at a zoo, he never forgot who he was. Polish veterans would even come to visit their old friend. He'd perk up at the sound of Polish voices or marching songs from the old days. Some say he would stand up on his hind legs like he was ready to salute. He was no regular bear in a zoo. He was still a soldier, just retired. After years of being at the comfortable Edinburgh Zoo, Wojtek did pass away in 1963 at 21 years old. But his story did not end there. Today you can still find statues and memorials of Wojtek in places like Edinburgh, Warsaw, or Monte Cassino. His emblem, the bear carrying an artillery shell, still lives on today as a symbol of loyalty, resilience, and a very unlikely wartime hero. But in Poland, he is not remembered as just an animal, but as an actual brother in arms. He is a living reminder that even in the middle of chaos, something good, weird, and unforgettable can still happen. If you enjoyed this story, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what other kind of animal-related content you'd like me to cover. And if you want more long-form content, go ahead and check out Force of Nature Podcast. We have over 130 episodes. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. We even did a two-parter on animals in warfare. I plan on bringing some of those to the YouTube show. And be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Matthew D. Hamilton, and remember that nature is random and chaotic. And I will see you next time.